Hey y'all, it's Dennis and Corinne again from Volunteers Colombia and Hartford Changed. Today we're going to be talking about the visa and cedula process. And the goal here is how to become a temporary Colombian citizen to receive your cedula and visa.
What is it? In order to become a fellow and work for a stipend in this country, you will need to apply for a volunteer TP1 visa if you are not already a registered citizen of Colombia. Upon arrival, the visa is issued and pasted into a blank page of your passport. You will also be issued a visitor identification card known as a Cedula de Extranjería. Don't forget, the visa/cedula process is not black and white. Every case is different, and one must always remain conscious of their own situation and be patient when maneuvering through the steps.
When this process should be initiated before arriving to Bogota for the start of your fellow orientation. The following slides will review the specific steps one must take in order to successfully apply and receive the visa and cedula.
Please note, after submitting the online application, the confirmation email will ask you for an online payment. You do not need to make any payment at this point. HSC kindly takes care of this for you. Before arriving to Colombia, you will receive a special letter from the Ministry of Education explaining that you are soon to get a volunteer visa. When going through customs upon arrival, be sure to have this letter with you.
Visa process online application. So what do you need before you start the process? You need a cropped out colored copy of a passport photo. The picture must meet the requirements of 4 by 3 centimeters in color, white background, and you cannot wear anything that could cover your face, such as glasses, hair, hat, etc. It should be in JPG format, and you have to look directly in the camera. Secondly, you need a cropped colored copy of your passport information page in PDF form. Third of all, you need an invitation letter from the Ministry of Education in PDF form. This is the same letter you should print off and bring with you when you fly to Colombia.
Step 1. Go to the Colombia Cancilleria's website, listed here. If you first would like to change the language, you can do so from selecting from the drop-down box at the top of the center of the page. Then click Realice aquí su solicitud de visa en línea.
Tips for navigating the website. The website can be very slow to move from one page to the next. If it's been a couple of minutes and it's still not going to the next page or to a loading screen, try clicking continue again. Once you get the loading symbol to appear, just wait for it to finish loading. Sometimes it won't accept the information you're putting in even though it's correct. Try to select your answers again or rewrite your answers, whichever is applicable, and press continue again. Third, if you're having a lot of trouble, try opening a different web browser. For example, a difference can be noticed by using Chrome or Firefox. Once you enter in the information on the first page, it will restart your application. Google Chrome is the best browser to use for this process.
This is what page 1 of the application process looks like. You'll see all the boxes marked in red, and some of them are not marked in red, but all of them are pretty much self-explanatory and obligatory, except for the application registry number. It's important to note that your birthday should be entered as day, then month, year.
Page 2. Similar to what Corinne has previously mentioned, just continue to follow through. You can follow how it's been entered in this page right here. You're going to be a visa. It's going to be temporary for an individual by the foreigner. And most importantly, we need to note that the category of the visa is TP1.
This is page 3. The expected address in Colombia to enter is the information example exactly as you see it. Please make sure you choose the correct Bogota from the drop-down list as well. The address is Carreras 71D, number 12461, in the cities Bogota, Cundinamarca. The telephone that you guys should add is the one listed here, 318-361-0669. And in the email field, please provide your own email address.
Page 4, just follow accordingly to this page. Enter the similar application process. So the institution here would be Ministry of Education. Occupation would be Intercambio Cultural y Académico. And specification is an education and volunteer. Also, it is important that you enter this information correctly, either yes or no. And it would not affect your application process.
It is important to note here where it says, have you ever had a Colombian visa? If you've previously been here on a tourist visa, that does not count as a previous Colombian visa. So please just keep that in mind. This is page 5. These are basically questions asking about yourself, your family, and there's a section about the Ebola outbreak and questions that are relevant to that. Page 5 continued. The part I said about the Ebola is titled Información de Salubridad. This section is concerned with the recent Ebola breakout in Africa. Answer no to all questions in this section unless you have been to Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, or Sierra Leone in the past 21 days. You have contracted Ebola. If you have visited any of the listed countries and have contacted with any bodily fluids that could potentially pass Ebola, or with any animals that could potentially pass Ebola, you have contact with someone who has traveled to Guinea, Liberia, or Sierra Leone, you have any symptoms of Ebola, or if you have visited someone that has Ebola or is suspected of having Ebola. If you answer yes to any of these questions, please contact HFC or VC Colombia.
Page 6. This is the page where you will be uploading your information. So in this section, you're going to upload your color passport photo in the first section in JPG format. Afterwards, you're going to upload your color passport and copy the ministry invitation letter in the second section in the PDF form and click continue.
Page 7. This is pretty much the last part of the application process. Make sure that the data matches what's up here on the screen. Please write down your application number or take a screenshot of this page as you'll need it for your future reference.
After online application, wait for confirmation emails. The first email will simply confirm that your application has been received successfully. The second will say if you have been approved, aprobado, or not. Approved, that's great. This email will mention something about paying for your visa. You will not need to do this. Patiently wait and your PDF visa will be sent to you in a third email. Please email your PDF visa to the HFC VC rep in charge of helping you with the visa application process. Also, print it out and put it in safekeeping and bring it with you to orientation. If you didn't receive an approval email before arriving to orientation, no worries. HFC reps will be in charge of helping you with the visa application and remain patient for the next steps depending on your specific situation.
Entering Colombia. Upon entering Colombia, you will complete a customs form, and in most cases, you'll receive a stamp in your passport that is valid for 90 days. This is also known as a tourist visa. At customs, they may ask you the reason for your visit and how long you plan to stay, among other things. You may tell them that you will be part of a fellowship program for the Ministry of Education and that you will be applying for a courtesy visa, visa de cortesía, prior to departure. You will receive a letter of intent for you to carry with you that explains the courtesy visa process. Have this letter ready to show at customs.
Procedure for a successful application process. So at orientation, during orientation, you will sign a waiver to allow HFC to receive the visa in your passport for you. With this, you will not need to personally be present at the Cancilleria office for your visa. You will, however, need to be present to receive your cedula. Only once the visa is pasted in your passport, you will gather all necessary materials with our assistance to apply for your cedula at the immigration office.
At the immigration office, after waiting your turn, much like at a DMV, you will meet quickly with an assessor to hand in your application and tell them your placement city so that you can pick up the cedula there once it is ready, about a week or so after you arrive to your new home. You will then wait again for your name to be called, to have your picture taken, and to provide them with all of the necessary documents for the cedula.
About a week after arriving to your placement city, you can call the automated line to check and see if your cedula card is ready for pickup. You will receive this phone number after applying for the cedula in Bogota. Be sure to have your passport with you when going to the local immigration office to pick up the card. Immediately after receiving, scan front and back sides of the cedula and email photos to your regional coordinator. This is necessary to initiate your health insurance affiliation. After that, you're all set. With your active visa and cedula, you're officially a temporary citizen free to roam as long as it is in accordance with visa regulations.
Nearing the end of the contract. Throughout the semester, most people will not have to take any further action regarding their visa or cedula unless they are lost or stolen and need to be replaced. The expiration dates of your documents will go beyond the date of your fellowship contract. So, if you plan to leave the country before the expiration dates, you will not have to take any action at all. However, if you decide to travel after the contract ends and want to stay in Colombia, even just one day past your visa expiration date, you must apply for a temporary extension, known as a salvoconducto.
Salvoconducto. When you're nearing the end of your fellow contract, decide whether or not you will need the salvoconducto. If you plan to stay even one day past the expiration of your visa, it is necessary to apply for this in order to avoid very high fees. This temporary visa will be valid for 30 days starting the day of application/issue. Therefore, it is recommended that you apply just 2 to 3 days before the expiration date of current visa at any local immigration office. Required materials to apply: 2 passport-sized photos, which usually can be printed just outside at any immigration office, photocopy of your main/front page of passport, photocopy of your Colombian visa inside the passport, and 50,000 Colombian pesos in cash.
Please keep in mind, throughout your stay in Colombia while working as a fellow, it is necessary to keep physical cedula on you at all times, especially when heading on a bus, as there are frequent checkpoints when traveling between cities where you need to present it.
Here are some of the frequently asked questions. Does the visa allow me to re-enter the country during my time with the program? Your visa allows you to enter and exit Colombia until the time it expires. What happens if I have a family emergency and need to go home? In case of an emergency, you should work with your mentor, co-teacher, and regional coordinator to arrange travel plans back to your country. If you expect your absence to be for a finite amount of time, your EI can help arrange to have your classes covered until you are able to return. If you need to leave the program permanently, please be aware that this has implications for your visa and may possibly have implications on your eligibility to work in programs with the Colombian government in the future.
What happens if I decide to leave the program before my end date? For the benefit of your students in your schools, we ask that you commit to the entire term of the program. You should only join the program if you are able to make this contractual commitment. If you are participating in the program on a TP1 visa, the Colombian government may limit your eligibility to visit or work in Colombia after leaving the program. It is important that you thoroughly understand the implications of your visa before making the decision to leave the program.
Will I be able to have another paid job to supplement my income while I'm teaching in the fellowship program? Your visa does not allow you to take other paid work in Colombia. You may participate in additional fellow activities in Colombia or supplement your income with money earned abroad, provided these activities do not interfere with your primary commitment to the ministry. Thank you. And this concludes our webinar for the visa and Cedula process. If you have any further questions, be sure to contact and reach out to us. Thanks again.